Now it's time for our game of the week. Crimson, what do you have planned for us?
Okay, I think I have a really fun game plan. So I found some videos that caused a little bit of confusion, and I thought I would expose you and us to the concept. And instead of being confused, we're going to invoke our coping skill of curiosity to
All right.
unpack what the hell we just saw. So
Okay,
this is
I'm here
called
for that.
What the Hell is Happening? All right, you ready, Lori?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, Lori. First one.
Before I started rubbing beef fat on my face. There is raw honey in here, and raw honey is a humectant, so it is going to lock in moisture.
Beef fat on your face. This is happening. This is real. This is
This is like
currently a trend.
a funny one that you started with because, as I have mentioned to you before, and I think you might have forgot, I actually use beef tallow on my skin.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like straight beef fat. It's like a tallow-based moisturizer, and it has helped me with some of my textural issues with my skin. So yeah, it's funny to me, like you're just disgusted by the idea of beef fat on your
I mean,
face.
yeah, I mean, my friend uses salmon sperm. I know that there is a whole world, but as
Snail
someone that has struggled
goo
with
is another
acne,
one.
yeah, I know, but as someone that struggled with acne, beef fat just seems like dumping your head in a vat of like, oh, I just feel like,
But if you have dry skin that gets textured like mine, it can be a great product. Now, what's interesting, my curiosity about this video is she's like, things I wish I'd known before I put beef fat on my face. And then she starts talking about like honey and other additives that are in this moisturizer.
mhm.
So, like, I'm curious why you felt the need to rage bait us with your title. That's my curiosity.
Well, it's because I was fascinated with this concept. I'm sure if you
Oh, I
put,
meant her. I meant
oh,
her
yeah,
because like she's like, I wish I knew before I put beef fat, and then she's talking about something totally different.
yeah. Well, I think it's just her creative spin of saying, like, it's not just the beef fat, crimson. It's also honey and other essential oils that make your
Mhm.
life good. So it's not as weird. Crimson, I think
You
that's what's going
know,
on.
I think skincare and antidepressants are two of the things that keep me the most humble about the human experience. And the
Sure.
reason why is because our internal chemistry is so different person to person. Like I can put slathers of beef fat on my face and it could be great for my face, maybe not so great for your face. Like, you know what I
Kill
mean?
me.
Just different chemistry. We could take the same antidepressant. We don't, but we could, and it could have wildly different impacts, you know?
Well,
And
and also the trends. I was talking to someone about this today. I don't know if you've heard that like people are going back natural. Like Kylie Jenner is dissolving her lips, and every time you see her, she's looking different. You can see the dissolution of her cheeks and lips. Thank God we're getting back to like a more natural look. But the one thing that consistently will always be envied is good skin.
good skin is a privilege.
I see why people invest in it. I would not have the courage. But to your point, skin is very different to each person and what
Yeah.
works for one, which is why there's like whole stores dedicated to skincare.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I hit you with one that you don't find confusing at all.
Yeah.
That's
Give me
hilarious.
another one. Give me another
Okay,
one.
let me try another one. Alrighty. The next one, Lori, is actually local here in Northern Kentucky in Crestview Hills Town Center. There's a store called Learning Express. Recently, they were selling Neatos, which is a new toy fad. And check out the line.
Keeps going and going, huh?
It won't end. I'm legitimately confused about Neatos. What is going on in the world? I mean, it's kind of nostalgic, right? Because like in the
Yeah,
80s
there
and
is a nostalgia
90s,
to it. Yeah.
like our parents had to wait in lines for hours to get like
Yeah.
the Christmas gift of the year. So there's a lot of nostalgia going on, but at the same time, like, I mean, my daughter got a Neato at the local bookstore because they just happened to have them. They were $10. So I got her one because I had seen this and I was like, wow, we just found a golden nugget. And I don't get it. I'm very
No,
confused.
I got some for the family for Christmas like a year or two ago, and like they were cool, whatever. But one of them popped like right away.
So
I
my
was like kind of
daughters,
over
we've
it.
had 2 pop.
Yeah, yeah. So I was over it. But okay, so but my curiosity, not my judgment, my curiosity is like this Neato is like it's a thing for people. I want to know like what does this Neato help you with? Because the one thing I will say is it's kind of similar to what we were talking about with like personal chemistry, that stimulation piece. Some people find certain things so pleasurable that it can really be a helpful tool for them. A lot of people with ADD who are on the spectrum, they will use tools like this. So I want to know how it's working for people. And I'm excited that, I'm going to guess that probably 50% of people in this line are resellers trying to make a buck. That's just my guess. But the other 50%, I want to know about their experience. I want to know how this has helped them and why it means that much to them or to their kids. There's probably 20% of the line. Actually, probably 40% of the rest of the line is parents. There may be a few people in there buying for themselves. But I'm curious about that. I want to know more about that. And I love, this is one of my favorite things about what we do, Crimson. I love hearing about the weird niche ways that people cope. Like, I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is a coping skill. I mean, or a coping technique. I don't get it because, to your point, everyone needs different kind of stimulus. So, yeah, somatic toys are really in, and here in Northern Kentucky, people will wait 4 or 5 hours just for the opportunity to spend money. It's like Disney World. All right, let me hit you with the next one.
How much do you need to ground every day to actually get the benefits? A lot of people say they feel better when they're grounding because of the free electron transfer from the earth to the body. It's best to ground as much as possible, if not all day, but the minimum effective dose to get the benefits is 22 minutes. Some science has shown this is about how long it takes to reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and reduce anxiety. And if you really want to...
Okay, so this hit me and I was confused. I actually have a friend that has invited me to go grounding several years ago, and that's what exposed me to this concept. And it totally makes sense. And I have to be honest that when I moved from Los Angeles to Kentucky, I made fun of people that didn't wear shoes, but like I don't ever wear shoes. And so I feel like I'm always grounding. I live grounding.
I think you should go grounding with your friend. I think it would be a fun experience.
But my
for you.
curiosity is if I live grounding, why am I not so grounded?
Well, because there's so much stimulation, and it does seem that the best grounding happens when you are outside in nature barefoot, which is probably, 22 minutes a day. I like that, but that feels like aspirational. And part of that's because I have a broken leg right now. But maybe that's something I can work back into my new wellness routine because I am emerging from this situation once again determined to take care of my body and my health. So maybe I will start doing 22 minutes a day of being barefoot outside. Grounding is definitely something where it's very present in like what we consider the more woo-woo spiritual space, but there's also a lot of science behind it. And it's also an area where we don't fully understand the human electromagnetic field.
Right.
But we do understand that we get benefits from nature. This is somewhat similar to what happens when we go and we do forest bathing and we spend time in nature. Something seems to happen to our electromagnetic system that reduces our inflammation and allows us to be a little bit more present and centered in our life. I do think that being barefoot in nature is one of those things that's probably more important to our health and well-being than we realize. And it sounds a little out there, but it really, if you start to do it routinely, it will make a difference. And I'll let you know, because like I said, I'm building my new wellness stack from scratch, coming out of this broken leg. So
I'm curious how it works out, Lori. All right, Lori. I got a lot of confusion.
So funny. You've literally chose like everything from my FYP that like I do in certain doses. So talk to me about the mouth tape.
I have so many questions. I'm so confused. It drives a lot of curiosity.
It's good. Yeah.
I mean,
I thought it was really out there when I first heard about it too.
So what are people really like? Doesn't that hurt? Like taping your
No.
mouth?
I
I'm
mean, they
very
make special.
sensitive
I mean, I think if you
skin.
were putting like duct tape on your mouth every night to sleep, yeah, don't do that. But these are like, they're like bandage, like, light bandage kind of things. And it forces you to breathe out of your nose, which is better for our health. There's also like oral health benefits. There's all sorts of things. But yeah, mouth taping, I know it sounds out there, but this is another one where there is research to support it. And I've tried it. I like it. I'm not currently utilizing it because I've got some sleep apnea stuff that's, I don't know. I've got more mess going on than I have. More for my wellness stack that needs to be figured out. But yeah, mouth tape. I know it sounded wackadoodle to me too, but the more research I did, the more I was like, I want to try this. And it's just like anything. I think some people it really works really amazing for, and some people like try it once and they're like, never again.
Well, I will say when I saw this pop up, my immediate reaction was confusion because I was like, oh my gosh, this woman's being held captive. And then I realized, but she's taking a selfie of herself being held captive. And then I realized she's taking a selfie of herself fake sleeping while being held captive. And then I got curious and actually read the caption and realized it was
Yeah.
none of those things. But it's still, I'm a little bit curious about this approach of the selfie fake sleeping. Just
Yeah,
gonna throw that out there.
I agree. I agree.
You got lots of things in your life that make me curious, Lori. Last one, Lori.
I do not put sunscreen on my kids. I just found it strange the correlation between the rise in SMANSA rates and the rise in sunscreen all at the same time just didn't add up to me. And the fact that most sunscreens are actually banned in Hawaii because of the amount of damage that it does to the reefs, yet they're still selling it to us, wanting us to put it on our skin and then go bake in the sun. I don't think it takes a genius to realize that that probably isn't good for us either. But then I came across this beef tallow sunscreen by Terra Lotus. It's only 5 ingredients, 100.
Wait, we
So
cut
she
that before we
does.
start talking about beef tallow again. So
She
yeah,
does put kids on her sunscreen on her kids. It turns out she's just again rage baiting us.
another
Which I'm
rage bait.
curious. I got views, comments, engagement, all of the things on social media.
Yeah. Well, yes, I
Yeah.
am very confused by the current. So we had this discussion recently about how sunscreen has been villainized.
Yeah, so the teachers at my kids' schools are not allowed, state laws now, not allowed to put sunscreen on kids. Used to be that you could at least sign a consent form that would say, yeah, you can put sunscreen on my kid. I'm really, really concerned about my kids getting sunburns. I'm really concerned about sun damage. I'm really concerned about these things. And I am with you. I am so concerned on like, what is the state of sunscreen? I do know that the sunscreen, like the FDA has not really approved new sunscreen types in our country for a long time. And there have been new sunscreen types that have been developed and approved in Europe under European standards. So I'm like confused as to that. I'm also confused by there has been a villainization of sunscreen across political lines. I'm confused as to why I can't opt in for my kids to get sunscreen on at school. It's just another thing that is just like, God, could we just get some clarity, please? And I
Yeah.
don't trust that we will.
Well, and it's funny because I'm just right across the river in Kentucky, and our state legislator passed something mandating kids be allowed to take sunscreen to school. I mean, my mom just had stage 2 melanoma, and luckily she's okay, but she's never worn sunscreen. She did not believe that it was necessary and that the sun is natural and it won't hurt you. And she got melanoma. I will say, anytime you're putting a chemical on your body, you got to think about it. And so I am judicious. Like, if I'm taking my kids to the pool at 4 o'clock, especially if summer's already been kicking and rolling and they aren't like pale from the winter, we don't put sunscreen on. I'll take them to the pool at 4 because at that point I'm like chemical you know what I mean? Like rubbing them down in chemicals versus the sun right now. But if they're going out before that, they have sunscreen on.
All this drama happened because the kids were having field day at the school and they were going out in the afternoon and they were telling us that we needed to put sunscreen on them in the morning before they went to school, which I did. But like, was it even still going to be active by the time they got outside? I don't know.
It's such a
Ah.
confusing situation in the world
I'm
right
just
now.
really curious. I'm really curious. What do parents do? What is the middle ground on
Right.
this?
Well, I
Help
will
me,
say I'm
please.
curious to try Korean sunscreen. I kind of want to
Oh
try it
yeah?
this year. I heard that it's not white, it's not like pasty. It
Mm-hmm.
like absorbs better. So that's my
Well, keep us
curiosity.
posted.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Awesome.